So here is something that I noticed as I was moving around the back because I wanted to start thinking about this banquette, and that is that my window mullion, or I should say the bottom of my window, is actually much higher than I originally thought it was. So what I need to do is I need to move all of these up so that I can put in this low wall back here. So I'm going to select these three bottom pieces, and I'm going to move them up, holding the Shift key down, until I can touch the top of that window point. And then I'm going to push-pull this into the edge of the mullion. Now I'm going to open these, just one mullion up, and move so that I'm low to this point, and I'm going to push-pull this mullion up until it sits on top like that, which will give me the space I need to draw in the low wall that is at the bottom of that window. I can make that a group, push-pull that up until I hit that point. Now that it's closed, I'm going to make it a component as well, and I'm going to copy it to this point and to this point. All right. All right. So now we want to look at this banquette here. So what I can do is I can, for the time being, pull up my layers and see how I've got some new layers here? These layers correspond to the component that somebody else made. I can see I didn't make seat base, seat fabric, or seat shell, and I don't want those layers because I didn't make them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all and delete them. And that's going to give me three options. I can move to the current layer, which is layer 0. I can move to default layer, which again is layer 0 because that's always my default layer. Or I can delete the contents. I definitely don't want to delete the contents or I'll lose the chair. So I'm just going to move to the current layer and delete. That's going to make it now so that all of these elements in this chair are on layer 0. So let's go ahead and turn off the elevation. Elevation 1 we'll keep. Let's turn off elevation 2. And let's turn them both off so that I'm only looking at the top of the banquette. This is a piece of millwork off to the side. So I'm going to make that into a rectangle, and I'm just going to push-pull this up to the top of this at this point. I'm going to push-pull it down later, but I know that I want to push-pull it up for now, just to kind of get it out of the way. I can see that I've got 3 cushions here, so I'm going to just work on 1. So I'm going to make this into a group, and now I'm going to make it into a component. Let's turn on one of our elevations. So if you look in the elevation, it looks like this cushion is split up into 2 for every. I've got 3 in plan, but in elevation they're broken into 2. So I'm going to move this up into space along the blue axis until I hit the top of that cushion on my plan. I'm sorry, on my elevation. Now I'm going to push-pull this down, and I'm just going to draw a line right down the middle of it, dissecting it. Or bisecting it, I should say. And right-click, and that's already a component, so I'm good to go. Now I can copy this straight across, holding it along the red axis, times 2, enter. Okay, and I can also now take this and push this down until I get the face of that. Whoops. Until I get to the top of that. I can also begin to use the elevation of this to carve out those lines. I'm not going to do these swing lines because those swing lines represent, let's see, looks like I need to get that from this point straight across to there, and I can probably push this back a little bit. I can give it a little kick. I'm not going to do the swing lines because the swing lines are obviously just a graphic thing. And it looks like I've got one of these over here. So again, I'm going to right click, make this a component. I'm going to move it all the way across like that. I'm also going to do the base. The base of this banquette underneath, and I'm going to go all the way to the back. Double click on this to make it a group and pull it up into place so that it sits just beneath. And it looks like the banquette has a kick as well. So if I just follow this line straight across all the way to that other edge, I can now pull that back. And I'm going to match that face of that millwork bed. Last but not least, I've got some pillows in the back, and I'm just making these rectangles for now because I want to keep it really simple. We'll worry about making them a lot more pillowy as we get into next week, and that's not going to be a requirement for the homework. I'll show you how to do that, but you don't have to worry about doing that for this class. And I'm just going to draw a line like that. Again, I'm going to make this into a component and copy it. Times 2, enter. And I can probably, to give this a little bit of a slant so it's not so boxy, select these two lines and move that back so I have a little bit of an angle to lean back against. And close. Now let's go ahead and turn off that elevation because we don't need to see it anymore. So there's my banquette in the background. I'm also going to make a rectangle here for this pane of glass. I'm going to make this into a group, and I'm going to give this a material. So I'm going to open up my bucket. I'm going to go to translucent because it's glass. And I always start with this kind of blue translucent material, but I don't leave it at that because that's really, really cartoon looking, and you can really tell when someone has just not edited the material when they leave their glass looking like that. So I'm going to go back into my home materials, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to make it more opaque, and I'm going to take the color a little bit away from being so intensely blue. So it still has like a little bit of a glass look to it, but it's not as intense. Go ahead and close that window too because I don't need that. This I'm going to make into a component, and I'm going to copy it here in this direction in case I ever want to change the material on this glass. But I'm going to scale in this case. I'm going to scale this in. So it's still a component. It will still act the same as the other one, but it's now scaled to a smaller scale. And I'll copy it in this direction times 2, and I'll take this one and I'll copy it all the way over like this. At this point, as you start getting more things in your model, what you'll probably want to do is you'll probably want to start grouping things together that are multiple pieces. So I might want to take this top piece, this bottom piece, this bottom piece, this top piece, each mullion, and I'm holding shift down as I select, and I'm selecting the mullions as I move across, and I'm also selecting the glass in between. And I'm going to group that all as one. So if I hide that now, I can see that it's all one piece, unhide. So if I want to work on one of these things, I can treat this like it's all one group. And I'm going to open this up, select these pieces, and hit... now, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to do it that way. We're going to do this. We're just going to worry about the glass in this one room for now. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rectangle here for the glass on this wall. Make that into a group. Open this up. Now I need some lines here that will divide up the glass because I can't have one giant piece of glass like this. So I'm going to select the line on the bottom and I'm going to right click it. I'm going to go to divide. And I'm going to start moving my mouse until I have a couple of different segments. And at 6 segments I have 6 panes that are 3'10". Let's see what happens if I go to 5. 4'7". That's a little big. So I'm going to go down to 6, enter, and select that line so that I can see where that line is. Draw a line up along the blue axis. Select that line again and just copy it times 4. And that's going to give me my lines all the way across. Now I can close this. And I can sample from this glass texture and plop it onto that texture like that. So I've got my glass. This is just the way I would do this, and I'm kind of showing you some of my workflow as I go so that it makes a little bit of sense how you can work and how you can achieve different effects using different tools. You don't have to follow every single thing I'm doing exactly. All I really want you to do for the homework is kind of develop this area in your own way. I'm not going to be looking for your model to look just like mine, so don't worry about that. I really just want you to kind of explore this space and make just this little area here developed. You'll see the actual criteria listed for the homework, so don't panic, and you don't have to worry about every little bit being exactly the same. You don't have to worry about all the components matching. So go ahead and start working on getting this area a little bit more developed. And next up, we're going to talk about different camera fields of view and how to set up some scenes.